Foal Watch is brought to you by HRNZ Marketing in association with the New Zealand Standardbred Breeders Association. Welcome to the second episode of HRNZ's Foal Watch. In our previous episode we met our mare Ohoka Moon and spoke to her owner Sarah Smith regarding her broodmare career so far and the decision to mate her with Bettor's Delight again this season. Ohoka Moon has recently had a foal by Bettor's Delight and is now ready to be served again for a foal due in spring of 2019. We will follow her journey from conception to birth here at Dancing on Moonlight Farm in Canterbury. Overseeing this journey is Andrew Bailey of Rangiora Vet Centre. We found out a bit about him, his career as an equine vet, and what is involved in the early stages of getting a mare pregnant, particularly following the birth of her foal at foot.
I graduated in 2003, I think it was now, so I've been a vet a while, and I started in mixed practice, doing cats, dogs, everything, and I was always interested in the reproduction side of things, and it didn't matter what species it was, and then opportunities just arose and doors opened, and I ended up doing horses because that's where the work is. I do like horses, obviously, but it was more just I was there at the time, and the opportunity was there, so I took it, and now I love it, and you know, it's what I do, and you know, I really enjoy it and find it very rewarding. So yeah, it's good.
Fantastic. And what would you say are some of the most challenging parts of your job around the foaling and breeding side?
The most challenging probably, I like challenges, so it's always good to get a tough case or something you've got to work on. I guess personally the most challenging bit is when you work really hard to get a mare and foal, and then you have a trouble with getting the foal out the next year, and maybe the result isn't quite what you want, you know, you lose the foal or whatever. I take that quite personally. That is a downer for me, but hey, if you can save the mare, then we start again and away we go again, so that's the main thing. But yeah, it's always a bit disheartening when, 2 o'clock in the morning you get that phone call and you think, oh, all this work we did to get this mare to this point now, and then the last little hurdle she falls, the wheels fall off. But it is what it is, and it's the game we play. But like I said, if we can save the mare, then we start again and away we go. So yeah, it's not all bad. So
conversely, Andrew, what are the best parts of the job?
Best parts of the job, without a doubt, are foals. I love seeing foals skipping around the paddock with their mum. To me, there's nothing more rewarding than that. If I go past and see a paddock full of mares and foals skipping around, I think my job's done. I'm happy. So yeah, I just for me, seeing the pregnancy is one thing. Every single one we get, I still find, it's a bit of a yay, thumbs up moment. But seeing those foals, and especially when we're getting, tricky breeders or frozen semen that we've battled with, or, some of our embryo work and things, when I see some of those embryo foals running around with their surrogate mother, you just think, wow. It still amazes me even after all this time that we're doing that. So it's very rewarding.
It's Tuesday, November 20th, and Ohoka Moon is being scanned to assess how far along she is in her cycle following foal heat. So Andrew, how long do you wait after foaling to scan a mare?
We wait till about day 7 or 8 post-foaling till we check them. They come on heat in about that 8 to 10 day mark. Some a wee bit earlier, some a wee bit later. I'm always of the opinion that if they're going much earlier than that, then we're pushing it a wee bit to ask them to accept a fetus or an embryo into that uterus. So yeah, we look at them at about day 7 to 8. Firstly, we're looking to make sure that uterus is recovered okay from foaling, and then we're looking to see what the ovaries are doing, so that by day 9-10, when we've got a nice follicle coming up and they're getting ready for ovulation and to be inseminated, that it's all ready and we've got everything optimal to increase our chance of getting that mare and foal as quick as we can, so that we can try and keep everything within that year cycle for the owner, so they get a nice quick early foal.
And you hear people talking about foal heat, Andrew. What exactly is foal heat?
So foal heat is just that first early heat that comes on, like I said, about day 8 to 10 after foaling. That is what they call the foal heat. It's still incredible to me to think that a mare can go from being fully pregnant and then 10 days later to have another little embryo growing inside it. That is an incredible feat of nature, if you ask me. So but in saying that, it is a less fertile heat. We know that, and that's why we have to put a bit of extra work into them to try and increase our chances for them. But we with fresh semen, we'll go on foal heat, breed them on foal heat, most of them, unless they've they've had retained membranes or there's been a problem, in which case we might delay it and short cycle them back. But that's what foal heat is. It's just that very quick early heat that they have straight after foaling.
And in this first scan, what exactly are you looking for on the screen?
So firstly, what I'm looking for is to see that the uterus is clean and healthy and ready to go. If we've got fluid, or like I said, if there's been a retained membrane, or there's just something not looking right about it, we've got a couple of days then to do something about it. Or if we feel it's that bad that it's not worthwhile doing, we'll short cycle her and start her again. And rather than wait, inseminating and knowing it's not probably going to work, and then waiting for the pregnancy test, we're losing a week, 10 days, we're better to short cycle and start again. And also we don't want to be wasting semen and everybody's time. So that's what we're looking for. And then also we're looking to make sure that we've got a nice, the ovaries are doing what they should, and we're bringing up one nice healthy follicle for us. Some of them, the foal heat ones, because it's all a bit of a rush with the mare, with her biology, sometimes that follicle can hang on, not ovulate, which means that little egg inside the follicle is losing its viability. So that's what we're looking for. But primarily, make sure that uterus is healthy, and that we make a decision whether we're going to breed on foal heat or whether we're going to let them go through and short cycle.
A second scan follows 6 days later on November 26th. Andrew assesses the progress of the mare in her cycle, and she is given what is referred to as a PG. So Andrew, quite often you hear people referring to giving a mare a PG. What exactly is that, and why do you give that to a mare?
Okay. So PG is this abbreviated term for prostaglandin. And prostaglandin is actually a natural hormone that the body releases to induce the body to start cycling again. When an ovulation occurs, we get left with a scar on the ovary called the corpus luteum, which is there to maintain pregnancy. If she gets in foal, it stays. If she doesn't, the body releases prostaglandin to start a fresh cycle coming up. So by us injecting a synthetic prostaglandin, we are acting as the system, and we're saying no, start again, scratching that ovary, getting rid of that old ovulation site, and signalling it to bring up a new wave of follicles for us to work with.
The third scan follows that week on Friday 30th of November. This is the first scan Ohoka Moon has had since receiving the PG on Monday. It is then followed by a follow-up fourth scan on Sunday 2nd of December. The vet is looking for the perfect time to serve Ohoka Moon to ensure a high chance of conception.
When we're looking to time to inseminate, we're looking at several things. So one is, follicle. We've got to have a nice follicle, and with the ultrasound technology we've got now, it's very easy for us to measure and look at these follicles and image the ovary. And so we're looking at these follicles, we're looking at size, how mature they're looking. There's a lot of changes that will happen as they get closer. We theoretically like to think we know when they're getting close to ovulating. Doesn't always work. So there's that side of it, but then we're also looking at the uterus as well. When a mare's on heat, she's got a lot of estrogen pulsing through her body, which defines her being on heat. So we're looking at that'll induce swelling, that cervix changes. There's a number of things. The vulval colour will change. There's a lot of things that, there's 3 or 4 key things that we're looking at, putting together and trying in our minds to place where is this mare and where is the optimal time that she's going to be ready to receive semen.
Okay, and finally, do mares go quicker than others? Is it luck sometimes, or as you say, are you guessing?
No, it's not. Well, we'd like to think we're not guessing, but every mare is different. Some of them hold on to them longer than others. Some will just sit if it's early in the season and the hormone levels aren't just quite right. A lot of those follicles will just sit, not ovulate. Others, some mares, like I talked about, size of the follicle. Some mares will ovulate on a very small follicle. Others will hold on to a larger. And as time goes on, we get to know with some of these mares, some of our regulars that we've had for years, we know there are particular mares that will ovulate a smaller follicle. But if we see a smaller follicle and it looks mature and everything else is telling us she's ready to go, we serve on a small follicle, and 9 times out of 10 they'll ovulate that. And it's just, again, it's putting all those pieces of information together and then deciding how's the best way to manage this mare at this point in time.
And then once she's served, there's a scan to make sure that she has ovulated.
Yeah, so they get AI'd or inseminated, these girls, and we check them the next day to make sure they have ovulated. Like I said, sometimes most of the time we like to think they have, sometimes they haven't, and in which case we'll reserve them again the following day. And that's no drama, doesn't particularly matter. It's nice to get them in once. The less times we can inseminate them, the better, because every time we're causing inflammation by doing it. But we just have to look and see, and that's what that follow-up scan is for. Also, on that follow-up scan, we're checking to make sure they haven't brought up some fluid, or there's not an infection or any increased inflammation, because we've still got 4 or 5 days at that point to get the uterus tidied up before the embryo comes down.
The 5th scan reveals the timing is right for Ohoka Moon to be served. Sarah Smith will place the order with the stud farm in Auckland for the semen to be sent the following day. Stay tuned for our next episode of Foal Watch, on which we will cover the next stage of the process, the service.